What's going on, guys? MikeO back with another PSA DNA reveal video. I have a 41 card order coming in from Slab City Collectibles. Slab City's the group run by Garrett, aka Card Cutter, here on YouTube. And Garrett and his wife Tiffany do an amazing job. It's a great group, a ton of awesome people in the community there. Just a ton of information, a lot of knowledge to be gained. And I highly suggest you check out the group Slab City Collectibles. Link is posted down below. They just do a great job. The next submission coming up is June 25th if you're interested. So I'm going to get right into my order, send in 41 cards. These first two I'm going to show off are actually for Jeff T. Jeff T actually won one of my contests a few months ago, and he chose to have two cards certified, PSA DNA, in a group submission. So Jeff, congratulations on having both of your cards authenticated and encapsulated. So first up here is a 1983 Donruss Dave Parker signed in black. Very cool looking there. And Jeff had also sent in this John Candelaria, which is really cool, in the 1982 Donruss. Beautiful looking card. That blue looks awesome. The old school Pirates uniforms are very cool. So congratulations, Jeff, on having those two authenticated. They're going to look great in your collection. I'll be sending them off to you right away. Now on to my cards. I sent in 7 football to get authenticated and encapsulated. First up here is a Topps Finest card. This was a TTM from Terry Glen, former New England Patriots receiver. Glen had himself a really good career overall, burst on the scene back in 1996, had an amazing rookie year, one of the best rookie seasons for a wide receiver in NFL history, to be honest. And he was part of that Super Bowl team that included Drew Bledsoe and Curtis Martin. So really cool to add this to my collection. Unfortunately, not too long after getting this return in from Terry Glen, he actually passed away. I believe it was a car accident, so that was obviously really sad. You know, I had a lot of great memories watching Glen in his time in New England, and then he obviously bounced around in the NFL for a few years, spent some time with the Dallas Cowboys as well. Here's another one here. This is pretty cool. This is a Derrick Karr Topps rookie card signed in black. This was a TTM I got back actually way back at the beginning of his rookie year, so definitely thrilled to get that one authenticated and encapsulated. And encapsulation and authentication, it does help with the monetary value. It helps with the eye appeal. It's definitely a service from PSA DNA, and also Beckett offers it as well, that I personally really enjoy. Here's a third one here. This is a Jim Plunkett. Pretty cool looking card there. Old school Pats uniform, signed really nicely in blue. Definitely happy to add that one, get that one authenticated. This was actually a purchase. I believe I purchased this at a local card show. Got it at a really good price, and it was well worth taking a chance on. Next up here, we have Mr. Marv Levy. That's another cool one right there. Not the world's best signature, but Marv Levy, obviously a historic career. He's up there in age at this point. And, you know, I just thought, you know, that I had this autograph. I thought it would be one that would make sense to get authenticated. And here's another Hall of Famer here, Mr. Don Shula. The Miami Dolphins obviously had that perfect season. And this is a pretty cool card here, the Topps Pro Set, not Topps, but Pro Set card. And definitely happy to get this one authenticated. This was another purchase I made. I purchased cards now and then from card shows. You can actually get a lot of the non-certified stuff fairly cheap. And if you kind of do your research, or if you know what you're looking for, you can certainly get some tremendous deals. There's another really cool one here, Ken Stabler. This is a really awesome looking card. Again, another one that I'm just thrilled to get authenticated. This was another purchase that I made, and so it really didn't cost me much money. Got the great deal from Garrett getting it slabbed, and you know, I think I definitely enhanced the value and the overall appeal of this card. And the final one here, another cool one. This is cool for the Eagles fans out there, Seth Joyner. Seth Joyner just had himself a fabulous career back in the day with the Eagles, and that card's just beautiful. The old school Upper Deck card, those old school Eagles uniforms, which to me are far superior to the current unis they wear. Cool signature, and again, another one that passed, so that's always good. All right, the next 8 I have here are all Philadelphia Phillies. If you know my channel, you know that I am a Philadelphia Phillies fan, so I'm always getting Phillies autos. I'm buying Phillies autos, and I love getting them slabbed when I can as well. This is a J.P. Crawford, the Phillies rookie shortstop. This guy was a top prospect in baseball. He's up in the majors now, so we'll see how he pans out. This one I actually bought really cheap at the National. There were these guys, this group of friends, I guess, that go out and they do a lot of IP graphing and stuff, and they actually made their own slabs, and they had their own authentication, but of course, you can only take the non-big companies, you know, you can only take them for what they are, and just thought I would give them a test. I looked it over pretty good, and I knew what Crawford's auto looked like, so I was very sure that it was authentic, but just thought it would be a cool one to get certified PSA DNA for the collection, so there we go. Next up, this is a really sweet one, Jim Fregosi. Jim Fregosi, he was a longtime Major League player involved in historic trades. I'm sure you baseball fans know exactly what I'm talking about. Really good ball player, but also a manager for the Phillies for a number of years. Ended up being the manager of the 1993 team, the team that shocked really the world, shocked the country, and reached the World Series that year. So this is a cool one signed in blue. I actually have one that's signed in red, but picked this one up really cheap, and you know, happy to have that come back, authenticate it, and encapsulate it. And again, if you know my channel, you know that I'm a huge fan of Allen and Ginter cards. So anytime I get to pick up a Philly, specifically a Philly from that 08 team that won the World Series, I'm going to do so. So here's a Shane Victorino, signed in blue. Just looks great slabbed again. I know it gets repetitive, but the slab, the case, definitely just, it makes the card and the signature pop that much more. And then when you have that authentication with a company like PSA DNA, that enhances the monetary value a little bit as well. Not that I'm really looking to sell any of these cards at all. They're all for the collection, but again, you never know what might happen in the future. So here's a cool one here in the Reading Fightin' Phils uniform, Reese Hoskins. And Reese Hoskins burst on the scene last year and just had an incredible start. And while the season is young so far, he's actually played very well. And this was a TTM I got back last year. Sent it out, I think, the day that he was called up. I sent it care of the Phillies, and it came back, I believe, right after the season. So I was really happy to get this on the minor league heritage card in that Reading Fightins uniform. Always love going to see the Reading Phils play. Just a great ballpark for sure. Here's another Hoskins. This is on his first Bowman card. Beautiful, bold blue signature there. So really happy to get that one in. And I actually sent two of these. I sent the other one for the red flip service. The red flip service just has a little more detail. Gives you the option to get the autograph graded. I didn't opt for the autograph grading, but I did send 4 cards for the red flip service. They're not quite back yet, but at some point they will be. Again, more details available at Garrett's group, but this is a cool one here, so happy to get that one back. And here are a few I took a chance. I sent in just because I knew this guy was on his way. He's been incredible in the minors the last few years, was great in spring training last year, and impressed so much at spring training this year. The Phillies just said, hey, we're calling you up. We'll give you a major league contract. Scott Kingery, infielder, guy's playing all over. This guy just looks like he has potential star written all over him. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to see him play, but if not, give yourself the pleasure of watching this guy. I mean, he hits the ball hard. He hits it up the middle. Really happy to get this one slabbed up. This is from Bowman a few years ago. I guess it's 2015 Bowman. And big, bold blue signature there. And here's the second one. This one, the signature's not quite as thick, but it definitely still stands out big time. I've gotten some of these through people who have graphed for me. I've bought some on different Facebook groups over the years, so very cool. And this one is my favorite of those 3. This is awesome. The Topps Platinum, or the Bowman Platinum, Bowman Limited, whatever they call these now. Regardless, it is an awesome card. Great shine. That signature really pops. Looks outstanding, and like I said, this guy has just, he's really impressed. He's 3 days into his career, but he's been really impressive. So the non-Phillies fans will definitely appreciate the rest of these cards probably a little more. So let's get right into it. First up, we have Matt Olson. Matt Olson, sort of like Reese Hoskins, just had an incredible late season surge last year. And this is a cool Bowman, first Bowman card, beautiful card. Would look a little better once I straighten it out. Signed in blue, and I actually picked this card up at the Phillies show. There's a few dealers I always check out that deal in autographs, and sometimes they just buy collections. People who go out graphing minor leagues and major league spring training, and they'll buy just boxfuls of them and sell them cheap. So I actually got this for $1. $1 I paid for this first Bowman card. Got it authenticated, and it depends what Olson does, but to me this is the type of card that could become a $30, $40, $50 card in the future. And again, I'm not doing this to make money or to sell. I don't really have any interest in selling it. But, my point here is that you can go to shows and you can search out and get great deals. You can get what I consider a steal at $1, and then once you get it authenticated, you definitely add some value to it. So that's a cool card right there. Really happy with that. Next up, we have Yvonne Rodriguez, who is a Hall of Famer. Beautiful looking card here. Really like this card a lot. Actually showed this off in the past. This was another card that I bought at the National, along with that J.P. Crawford, where the guys had that goofy, their own slabs and authentication. And, I just kind of did a quick search, and I was like, all right, that does look like Yvonne Rodriguez. A lot of the other players I'm looking at look good. For the cheap price I got it for, which was, I don't know, $4 or something, I thought, hell, it's well worth it. And that's a cool one for the collection for sure. Here's an old TTM I got on a 2015 Topps Charlie Blackmon. Blackmon was just kind of a guy back then, and now he's one of the game's best. He's been sensational for the Rockies. Here's another Charlie Blackmon for you. This is his Topps rookie card, so that's very cool. This was a TTM I got, and it's not the prettiest signature. It's definitely sort of a dying Sharpie, not great looking, but like I said, Blackmon's just been unbelievable. He's really evolved into a great player, and to have an autographed rookie card, I think is pretty solid for the collection for sure. All right, guys, so we have a string of Allen and Ginters coming up next. So these are all certainly big additions to the PC. Not that they weren't already in the PC, but I guess they're enhanced. They're part of now the slabbed PC. And this is a CC Sabathia signed beautifully in blue. Acquired this in a trade. Very, very cool. Really happy to have that. Beautiful looking card. Gotta love those 2013 Allen and Ginters. Next up, we have a Jim Edmonds, who has a really interesting signature, but it looks pretty cool. Definitely another guy who's just a great player. Not a Hall of Fame player, but a really good player. Great defensively, really good offensively, and a cool addition to the collection. Next up, we got Trey Turner. Cool rookie card here. This one's signed in black, and it's kind of over a darker spot, so it doesn't really pop as much as you'd like, but it's still awesome to have for sure. Next up, it's Mr. Andre Dawson. There's a cool one there, signed nicely in blue. Dawson is a guy you can get TTM. He does charge a little fee / donation. It's not all that expensive overall, though, and he usually comes back fairly quickly. So always, if a Ginter comes out, I try and send it out. This was a purchase. I actually bought this off of eBay and kind of took a chance with it, but it's Pedro Martinez on an Allen and Ginter Mini. So it's a really small signature, and the signature looked good to me, but I kind of worried a little bit, would they be able to authenticate it because it's so small and, less space for him to sign overall, but they authenticated it, and I'm really happy to add that to the collection. I'm actually still looking for a Pedro Phillies card sign. That's one of my real, I don't know how to put it, but a card that I'm really looking to add to my collection at some point. There's just not many, if any, out there, so maybe at some point in the future he's doing a private signing. I'll jump on that. Here's a Chris Carpenter, signed in blue. Carpenter, another guy, just had a fabulous career. Really great pitcher for quite a number of seasons, and unfortunately pitched really well in Game 5 of the 2011 NLDS, where the Cardinals and behind Chris Carpenter, outdueled Roy Halladay and the Phillies in a 1-0 classic for most, just an utter nightmare for us Phillies fans. Here we go here. Sweet Hall of Famer, signed in blue. Actually picked this one up from Mr. Garrett. I think it was part of a package deal where I'd bought a number of Ginters and other baseball autos from him, so that's really cool there. Just very, very nice. Here's a purchase. I purchased this not from Garrett, but I think this was an eBay purchase. Jim Palmer, Baltimore Orioles, signed in blue. Jim Palmer's another one of his Hall of Famers. He signs a lot, so his stuff doesn't go for a ton, but that doesn't mean it's not super sweet for the collection. Here's a Jim Rice. Got this one TTM signed in blue. Really nice there. Jim Rice is one of those guys, he does sign. He signs for a fee. Don't send him a check because you'll get it back. So if you want Jim Rice, do your research, find out Natty, and send him a few bucks in cash, and you'll get it back. There's a Bill Buckner, obviously well known for that unfortunate incident in the mind of Red Sox fans. Here he's featured with the Dodgers, where he was actually a really good player, signed in blue. This is a sweet Ginter card. 2014 Ginter are awesome, so that's really sweet. Really happy to have this one slabbed up. Next up, I have a pair of Orlando Cepedas coming up. This one featuring him in the Giants uniform, signed in blue. Very nice there. And then I got a Cepeda here as a member of the Atlanta Braves, and this actually has the HOF 99 inscription, which is certainly really cool. Just another enhancement, just something else that enhances the card a little bit, just like this Juan Marichal, signed HOF 83, Juan Marichal. And I love the 2013 Ginters, but I also really like the 2014s as well, and this Fergie Jenkins is outstanding with an HOF 91. Fergie Jenkins does sign TTM. He does require a donation for his charity, and I had sent him a few cards, and it actually took quite a while to come back, but eventually did, so I was happy about that. At one point, Billy Wagner was signing TTM. I'm not sure if he still is currently, but I sent him a number of Phillies cards to get signed, and then unfortunately had to send him a Mets card because I had to get him on a Ginter, and that looks awesome. Wagner is a really clean signature, so that's cool for the PC. I do kind of wish if they made him in a Ginter, it would have been as an Astro. As much as I like getting Phillies signed for the collection, I mean, I think we can all probably agree that Billy Wagner, when you think of him mostly as a Houston Astro. Here's a nice one here, Mr. Todd Frazier, a guy who's had himself a nice big league career, had some really great all-star seasons with the Reds, so I'm happy this one features him in a Reds uni. Now he's bouncing around a little bit with the White Sox, Yankees, and Mets, but this is a cool card here. So really nice one there. Here's an awesome one here. Roger Clemens. Any kid who grew up in the 80s and early 90s, of course, remembers the Rocket Roger Clemens. And, you know, Clemens is still overall well-liked. And there's people who like him, there's people who dislike him, but always happy to add Clemens autos to the collection. That one featured in the Yankees uniform. Really clean Ginter design. But if you did grow up in the 80s and 90s, you probably think of the Rocket with the Red Sox. So this 2014 Ginter is awesome. Beautiful blue signature, that classic Red Sox uniform, absolutely wonderful. A beautiful piece for the collection, so happy to get that one authenticated. That one was also sent via TTM. And Clemens, you can check out his website, he does it. I forget what the charity is, but it's one of those deals where you just write out a check to the charity, send in your items, you get them back fairly quickly. Here's an awesome one here, Mark Mcgwire. Mcgwire with that, you know, those classic seasons with, of course, the Oakland A's, but then, you know, had great success with the Cardinals as well. That home run chase, even though, you know, you look back on it and it's a little bit tainted, it was still a thrill. It was absolutely awesome. And I'm still a Mcgwire fan. I like him. And I'm happy to have this Ginter finally signed. I've tried him TTM a number of times. Shout out to my buddy Jason Torres who hooked it up. He actually got this for me in person. Not the cleanest signature, definitely a little bit of a rush slop signature, but it still looks cool. It's awesome. And Jason, I really appreciate that. Thank you for giving this to me. It's definitely appreciated. And the final one I have to show off here is a beautiful TTM Carlton Fisk. Just an awesome looking card. 2014 Topps Allen and Ginter, signed big and bold, beautifully in blue. Just look at that card and tell me that it's not a thing of beauty. Just an absolutely beautiful card. So I hope you guys enjoyed the submission. I know these videos always take a little while, but when you're going through 40 some cards, you talk about them for a few minutes, it's going to take you a few minutes. So I appreciate you guys watching. As always, comment below, let me know what you think of the submission, any cards that stood out more than the others, and just let me know. Post those comments down below. I'll be sure to get back to you at some point. Hit the like button, subscribe, and check out Slab City Collectibles. Have yourselves a great one.